We are here in the incredible country of Jordan and its capital city of Amman, and this has been a trip full of surprises in all of the best ways. We are going to share with you all the best things to do in and around Amman, so stay until the end for all the surprises this city has to offer. One of the first things you should see is the Amman Citadel. Located on a hill in the center of the city, this ancient fortress offers stunning views of the surrounding area.
Okay, if you get to Amman, you've got to come to the Citadel. We're at the top of the hill now, one of the original hills that's probably been inhabited more than almost anywhere on Earth. And it's this huge complex that overlooks the city. And of course, right now, primarily what's left is Roman ruins, but this thing has been inhabited way back to the Bronze Age, like the 1600s. So in front of us here is the Temple of Hercules, which is about 160 BC, of course, built by the Romans. There's a little bit of controversy about was it dedicated to Hercules or not, but they found a lot of colossal things like hands and other things that would have indicated that it was for Hercules. So it's really fun, and you get a beautiful view of the city from up here. So we're going to keep exploring around, but so far this Amman Citadel is definitely something that we'd recommend to you getting on your list if you're in Amman.
During our visit, we were struck by the size of the place. The Citadel is home to a number of historical and cultural sites built by different cultures over time.
Come on into this amazing palace here at the Citadel in Amman. This is an Umayyad Palace. We think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, you can correct me, but it's from about 700 AD, and this is actually the entrance hall. The top has been restored, but you can see this is a grand entrance to the palace, one of three that got more and more private as you went through and exclusive as you went through. This area was actually used to screen guests and to impress them as the first place they came through, and then only more select people could get through to the other rooms. It's a beautiful place. You can see it's carved, and this restored ceiling is a really interesting thing to view. There's a lot of restorations here, but there's also a lot here that's authentic, and the carvings and just the scale of this space is really, really beautiful. It's really impressive, and you can see how if you got to visit this back in the day, you would really enjoy and appreciate the visit. Now this is really cool. Here at the Citadel complex, we discovered a Bronze Age cave here that dates back to 2250 BC. 2250 BC. So this thing's been around a long time, and it was a tomb. They found several burials in here from at that time period, and of course you can still come here. You can see it's gated, but you can actually stare in here. They said over time it was continued to be used for burials. There were individual tombs to begin with, and then it became more of a communal burial place that you can still visit today. This is pretty wild.
While you are here, make sure and step into the Jordan Archaeological Museum. There are no extra costs to enter. From atop the Citadel, you can see the Roman Theater below, which should be your next stop.
When you're in Amman, you've got to come to the Roman Theater. It's right down the hill from the Citadel, and of course it's built by Romans. It seats about 6,000 people, and it's in really nice restored shape. You can roam around the campus here. There's a lot of things to do. There are some entrance fees that aren't bad, and it lets you kind of roam all over here. There's cats everywhere, which is kind of fun for us, and we really enjoyed it. It's a mix of original and restored, but you really get a feel for what it was like back then, and the scale and the acoustics of the place is really, really cool.
If you're looking for where to stay on your upcoming visit, we recommend the W Amman Hotel. One of the things we loved was the entrance hallway created to replicate the canyons of Petra.
Well, Amex pays off again with a gold membership with Marriott because we got upgraded to this great room. It's on the 27th floor, so we've got a great view. And you can see it's a big king bed. It's got a sofa and it's got coffee and all this other stuff in here. And look at this, it goes all the way around. Check out the view. And then through here is this really cool bathroom with, yes, double sinks, which is always great. This huge tub, a shower, the toilet, and all of this space. So this is really cool. And the closets, and you're back there. So we're here for 3 more nights. We're gonna really enjoy our time here, and this is gonna make it really sweet.
The next day, we headed out to explore more of the city.
Okay, we just took our first Uber ride in Jordan, and it was so easy and so great. So we left the hotel and we've just arrived at the Jordan Museum. This is the primary museum in the country. So it's got a lot of archaeological stuff as well as history. So we're really excited to get here and to go explore it now.
It's a beautiful brand new museum. While the early exhibits were about Jordan's conservation of water, and thus a little dry, the exhibits progressively got more and more fascinating. There are 2 things that you must not miss out on, starting with these statues.
Okay, here at the Jordan Museum, we've found what we've been looking for, and that is the oldest human statues ever. These are over 9,000 years old, from 7500 BC, and you may remember this from our hidden gem in Paris. These are the originals. They were found not too far from here, and you can see they're in perfect condition and represent the oldest ever found. So this is a real gem. If you get here, you've got to see these.
The other do not miss exhibit is the collection of Dead Sea Scrolls. Some are at a museum in Israel, but only the copper scrolls can be found here.
We just finished up here at the Jordan Museum. We were here about 2-3 hours, which was, I think, pretty good for a really nice visit. This place is really well done. We really enjoyed it. We had everything written in English, which we really appreciated. Sometimes you don't get that. We also really got a really good history from way prehistoric times up until today on the stories of Jordan and the country and so many things that are important to it. An example is the conservation and cultivation of water, which is obviously critical here. Some of the highlights, for sure, the Dead Sea Scrolls. You see the only Dead Sea Scrolls that were written on copper. And then, of course, the oldest human statues ever to be discovered, over 9,000 years old, that we've showed you as well. This is really worth a visit. It's incredibly well done. The people are really helpful. We even got to print out our names in Arabic and Greek and all of the other languages from historic Jordan. So we've thoroughly enjoyed it, highly recommend it for a visit. It was only $5 Jordanian dinner to get in here, and a thing that I'd really recommend if you come to Amman. We left the Jordan Museum and we walked up a lot of steep steps to Rainbow Street, which is famous in Jordan. And we stopped here at Chef Slice for some really good looking pizza. So we're gonna nosh down on this pizza, then we're gonna do a little more exploring.
While you are in the area, stop by the Wild Jordan Center, which has a magnificent location overlooking the old city of Amman. They have a nice little cafe and a small craft shop which serves as an economic development program for the local communities.
Okay, we're really excited. We took about a 20-30 minute Uber ride here in Jordan, which has been really easy and great, actually. And we're here now at the Royal Automobile Museum. It is one of the top rated attractions in Amman, and of course it's this incredible collection of automobiles, and there's even a plane over here that we just saw. So we're really excited to go explore it, and we'll bring you along. Okay, we haven't even gotten into the museum yet, and we saw this. This is the actual vehicle from the movie The Martian. And we just read that it actually has a diesel engine, it actually drives. And after the movie, which was of course shot in Wadi Rum Desert, which we've also been to, the movie producers gifted it to the Royal Automobile Museum here, and we get to see it.
We just finished the Jordan Royal Automobile Museum, and it was a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff here. It was a lot more than I expected. It's not only the original collection of the Jordanian family for generations, but a lot of other examples here as well.
What were your favorites?
I think the older cars are always going to be my favorites. The ones that were actually used by the royal family. We saw some footage here, like the Rolls Royces, the Mercedes, the armored cars, that kind of stuff.
And of course, my favorites were a little outside the box. It was the Rover from The Martian. Mm-hmm. Did you just roll your eyes?
I did.
Okay, figures. It was the speeder from Star Wars and the motorcycle from Tron. I didn't expect to see that.
Yeah, that's definitely a unique part of the collection because movies were set here. It's neat that they actually donate them to the museum. So while it's not exactly Jordanian and historical, it's pretty cool in terms of it was actually vehicles that were used, especially in recent times in movies, and especially science fiction movies.
So if you come to Amman, don't skip the Royal Automobile Museum.
You got to make it. It's easy. You can do it in about an hour and a half, I think, 2 hours max, and it's a lot of fun.
Don't be afraid to venture just a bit outside of Amman because there are some terrific gems to be found.
We're here today at Mount Nebo in Jordan, and this is the place where Moses died. And we've learned a lot about how when he got here, he was actually not treated well by the locals and ultimately died here. There's a beautiful church built on the remains of an original church that was lost in 749 AD. Sculpture and various things, especially important here are the mosaics that have been somewhat preserved, but also there have been some that were destroyed by previous regimes that came through here and then somewhat restored. You're at the top of this beautiful mountain, a lot of history, and it's quite a beautiful place. We're in Jordan at the St. George's Church, and it's a beautiful church behind me that we got to tour, and it's famous because it has a mosaic that dates back to, we think, about 600 AD, and it's a map in mosaic of the Holy Land. Much of it was lost, but a lot of it was discovered, and you can see famous sites that we think about today in history, like Jericho, Jerusalem. You can see the Jordan River and essentially a map of the Holy Land as it existed back in 600 AD. It's a very interesting place. It's well maintained here. They sell tickets to get in, and we've really enjoyed the visit.
We're having a traditional Jordanian lunch right now, and they're starting out as usual with all of these spreads and breads and appetizers, and it's really good. We're going to have a traditional chicken dish with rice that they flip over, and we'll get that in a minute. Food here is good.
Right? You ready? Alright. Right here, close your ears to be very loud. Okay. Right? So, 1, 2, 3.
This next stop is a must not miss. It is one of the most remarkably preserved and massive ancient ruins that we've ever come across.
We're at Jerash, or Jerash, and I got to tell you, this place is amazing. We couldn't believe how big it is and how amazing it is. It's a Roman city here in Jordan, and it dates back to, obviously, Roman times here. And you can see not only a lot of beautiful columns and statues and that kind of stuff, but you've got churches, you've got shops, you've got all kinds of things, including the Temple of Artemis, which was absolutely beautiful, mosaics, and a variety of things. What's also interesting here is the guide kind of pointed us through about how things were before and after the Romans came. And when the Romans were here, they brought money and they built things. There's a beautiful amphitheater where there's amazing acoustics and so many things to see and explore. I really think you could spend a good day or two here and really not do it justice. We've had an amazing time, and frankly, this is one of the highlights so far, and it wasn't one of the ones we were counting on, so go Jerash. I'm here at the top of the Citadel against the beautiful view of the city with this amazing Jordanian flag flying above us, which is really a beautiful thing to see here in Jordan. It's huge. And we're really reflecting on how wonderful our time was here in Amman. We can't wait to explore the rest of this beautiful country. We'll be going all over. We'll be going to Petra, we'll be going to Jerash and other places, including Wadi Rum and places you may recognize from some movies you've seen. But so far, and in total, Amman has been a wonderful visit and one that we'll always remember. And as we conclude here, we just hope you'll come along with the rest of our adventures in this wonderful, wonderful country.
Watch this video to see what's next on our adventures and check out our customizable merchandise store. See you soon.